Hey, everybody. I wanted to address today something that happens every once in a while to us, and that's that every once in a while we have well-meaning volunteers that come into an organization, specifically a church, a nonprofit. Sometimes it's an employee of an organization, but they come in and they're replacing someone who may be using our platform. And the first thing that they do is they jump in, they sign in, they realize they don't know the platform, and so they recommend to the organizational leader, the business owner, to move to a platform that they know, because they're the ones who are hired or they're the ones volunteering to do the management, so they kind of want to do it on their terms, not yours. Not what's in the best interest of the organization, but what's in the best interest of the work that they've got to get done. And in many cases, what we'll see is even when the organizational leader pushes back and says, no, you need to use what we have, we kind of get the backlash of that from that volunteer or employee, very frustrated, very kind of an attitude-ish type of tone to them, because they really wanted to use what they're familiar with. I wanted to really talk about that. This is like having a bus to pick people up around town. Then you fire the bus driver and somebody new comes in, and because they've never driven a bus, they want to use their own car. And so instead of being able to pick up 20 people at a time, they can pick up 4 at a time, which means now they've got to take 5 trips to do the exact same job, use 5 times the gas, and at the end of the day, you also lost your investment in your bus because you got rid of the bus. This is, to me, what I see happening quite often. And in the most extreme cases, that volunteer will switch you to a technology and then be gone in 6 months. The next volunteer comes in and is familiar with an altogether different technology, and no matter how much you push back, you'll eventually end up at a different technology because that's what they're wanting to work in. And they'll make the case for it every time. They'll tell you how hard it is, and they'll tell you that it's not user-friendly, or they can't do what they normally can do. They'll switch you to another platform, and then in 6 months they're gone. And then the next volunteer comes in, and this process happens over and over and over again for many organizations. And some of you have experienced this. You've been on every platform there is out there, and still the next guy's still coming in telling you it's done wrong. Forces your organization to have to restart, reset. Then in some cases you won't switch at all, but now that volunteer or staff member just doesn't get in there and learn the system, and they don't do things as efficiently as you would like them to, and you end up assigning them to something else because they just never quite get into the swing of things. So I just wanted to help you to understand the dynamics of this and how problematic this is. What's the answer to it? Well, the answer is don't move. Don't change platforms simply because you have a volunteer or employee who's more familiar with that than something that's good for you, something that actually has the features that you need, and all they have to do is learn. Make it part of their job. Require it of them to learn and become the expert in the platform. Now, for customers of ours that are currently customers, we actually offer, when you replace an employee, a key staff member or volunteer that's been managing your website, we offer you a complimentary 1-hour training session. All you have to do is ask. So I wanted to just take a few moments to address this. It is an issue that happens quite a bit. It's an issue that costs us clients, but it also costs those former clients functionality, scalability. They lose the team that they've been used to working with. In most cases, I want to speak this and say this very clearly and respectful to the volunteers and employees that work on the websites, but in many cases, when you have employees that are so new or volunteers that are so new or may be inexperienced, your most valuable asset isn't that volunteer or employee. It's actually our team that you can lean on when things are hard. That employee or that volunteer's most valuable asset is our team, because they can lean on us and let us do the grunt work while they do the fun stuff. So it is really important to understand the dynamic, not get trapped by it as an organizational leader. Don't allow your volunteer, your staff member to dictate what technology you use. I mean, you wouldn't allow your volunteer or staff member to completely switch your inventory system because that's what they're more familiar with. You wouldn't ask them to, if you're a church, you wouldn't ask them to just swap out the pews because those are the ones that your volunteers are more familiar with. If you're a nonprofit, you certainly wouldn't ditch your entire donation system in order to accommodate the whims of your next administrator. It just doesn't make any sense. So why do that with your worldwide presence? It doesn't make any sense. But I will say there is an answer, and the answer is have them learn the platform. Have them come in, work with us, let them gain the experience of the platform to understand exactly what power is at their fingertips. Our platform is better than WordPress. I tell people if WordPress grew up, started taking vitamins and beating people up, that will be our platform, because we've just got everything in there. We've got CRM, we've got CMS, or these terms. We got relationship management, people management. We've got content management. And we've got e-commerce, which is the ability to do financial transactions online, whether they're donations or their sales. But I think that learning our platform is a great first step at countering this mindset of, if I'm not familiar with it, we're just going to switch it over. Switching your website over to something different does not guarantee that you're going to get better results. And in many cases, switching it over on the word of somebody who may not necessarily be that experienced, certainly not more experienced than our team, we just don't see how that's going to be fruitful for you. So if you have any questions, though, give us a comment on the video if you can. If this is posted to a book and a Facebook page, if you're seeing it there, or a social media network. If it's on a website, and call the number that you see on the website, and ask us any questions that you have. If you're a current client and you have an employee that needs some training or is giving you a little bit of hard time, telling you need to change, contact us and we'll give you a free training session, a whole 1 hour. If you're not a client yet, then take a look at our platform. Take a look at switching to us as a permanent solution, so you have to keep switching over and over again for every volunteer that comes in. And then you have a permanent team that's your core, and you can use the volunteer for the things that you can really, for content, for things that are non-technical, and that'll lower the barrier for the type of volunteer that you need. It'll lower the requirements. You can get somebody who's really just focused on a specific aspect rather than needing somebody who's a geek. All right? So I hope you have a great day, and again, let us know if you have any questions or comments below. Take care.